semifinals today at the Domo Polideportivo in Guatemala City as Costa Rica and Panama meet for the right to be one of two nations who will represent the region at the World Cup in the Philippines later this year, and for the right to advance to the final of this regional tournament tomorrow. I'm Donnie Barnes. In just a moment, we'll see the road to the final of this championship. Costa Rica and Panama meeting on this half of the bracket, and Mexico and Canada playing later tonight, as the winners will advance to that final tomorrow. Panama finished second in Group A behind Mexico. Costa Rica finishing first in Group B ahead of Canada during the group phase of this competition. It was quite a group phase and quite a debut in this tournament for Panama. This is their first major tournament as a futsal side, and they debuted with an impressive 6-2 victory over Cuba as they scored early and often in that debut match. And then an entertaining 4-3 victory over Guatemala to move to 2-0 in group play before falling narrowly to Mexico a couple days ago, 2-1. A late goal sinking them there, but all that did was drop them to second in the group. They were already assured of advancing to these semifinals one way or the other. And so they have been very impressive so far in their first major tournament. For Costa Rica, they have been a futsal side since 2014, but this being the inaugural Concacaf W Futsal Championship, this is the first time they've really been able to showcase themselves, and certainly their first opportunity to advance to a World Cup, since that's never taken place before either. And their fans are ready to go and hoping to be celebrating at the end of this game here today. They opened tournament play with a 3-2 victory over Canada. That was a come-from-behind win after they fell behind in the first 6 minutes. And then they followed that up with a 2-2 draw against the United States, where they scored the equalizer with 15 seconds remaining in that game. That was so critical because it gave them then a platform to thump Honduras 6-0 in that final group match and secure the group victory as the United States fell to Canada and dropped out entirely, Canada snagging that second spot. Here they come.
Damas y caballeros, les pedimos ponerse de pie para el himno nacional de Costa Rica.
Well, you can feel the tension and the anticipation in the air here in Guatemala City as these two sides get set for this first semifinal. Such an opportunity in front of them, the chance to go to a World Cup, the first ever World Cup on the women's side in futsal. Of course, the chance to play in this Concacaf final tomorrow as well. To be crowned champions of the region. Let's see the starting 11s first for Costa Rica. Their starting five today: Genesis Mendez in goal, Roxani Lopez, Tatiana Cascante, Ariel Barquero, and Melissa Jimenez rounding out that starting five, with Barquero wearing the armband. There's a full-strength bench for head coach Alexander Ramos, who's also the head coach of the Costa Rican men's futsal side. Costa Rica in their home kits today, the red and the blue. Panama wearing their away white strips today. So we see the match officials for this semifinal, led by Roberto Cux of Guatemala, Julio Pascual, Minor Quintana, and Manuel Barrera round out the quartet. The captains meeting at the center circle. Ariel Barquero is mentioned, wearing that armband for Costa Rica. Kenia Rangel, one of the key figures for Panama in this tournament so far, is the captain for them. Now the starting five. How big a role will both goalkeepers play in this? You would think it would be massive, as it usually is in a match like this. The opening whistle blows. We're in motion in Guatemala City in the first of two semifinals at the first ever CONCACAF W Futsal Championship. The spot in the World Cup on the line. Early blast goes wide, and there'll be an opportunity for Genesis Mendez to roll this back into play in the opening possession for Costa Rica. Again, I've been playing futsal since 2014 on the women's side, but the opportunities to actually play meaningful matches have been so few and far between until now. The women's game growing so much. Now an early shot from them on the first save of the match for Nadia De Cruz. She looks to release the counter right away, and it rolls out. Good early tempo to this opening minute. So head coach Alexander Ramos there, pacing along the bench for Costa Rica. I mentioned he also is the head coach of the men's futsal side, led them to the Men's World Cup last year. Trying to do that with both sides of the program now within a 12-month span. That would be quite an achievement. Panama on the counterattack. Big early chance, and it's just a hair too far in front of Gloria Sainz. But the idea was there. The execution was nearly there for Amaryllis de Mera's side. De Mera, highly decorated player for the Panamanian women's football side. legendary striker for them over many years. He's had a long professional career across the world as well. Taking charge of their women's futsal side now. Nearly a bad turnover there for Costa Rica. It's the reaction from Alexander Ramos. Not happy. Ill-advised pass there. Didn't cost them on this occasion. Nearly 90 seconds in. Again, Panama utilizing a bit of that press. Create some dangerous deflections. Panama clearly looking to sit back and play on the break early on. It's nearly worked a couple times. Costa Rica needing to be a bit more patient with their possession. Jimenez. A lot of steam on that pass for Roxini Lopez. Then Panama able to break things up. So this figures to be the shape of this semifinal. Costa Rica with the bulk of the possession, but it's, as always, a question of what can they do with it. How solid and compact can Panama stay, and then how effective can Panama be on the counterattack? Kick in for Panama in their own half. Ania Rangel. It was one of the big additions to their roster right before this tournament. That goes out of play. Rangel, a key player for the women's national football side, and agreeing to come over to the futsal squad as well. We're really excited to add her. And she has shown why with a couple goals at this tournament already. We will probably need one from her tonight. This blast from range held very strongly by Nadia De Cruz. Now Panama on the counter. Shaping to shoot. Shooting lane was closed down. Now back onto her right. From an angle, it's blocked. And right back to Rangel, who recycles. Neat touch by Sainz. And gets it back, and Sainz kick save. Biggest stop so far from Genesis Mendez with her left foot, keeping this at 0-0. Really well worked by Panama. They've looked sharp when they've been able to get on the attack. And Mendez celebrating that save, and she should. It was a good one. It's a corner. Costa Rica staying very tight defensively now. This is the first time they've had to defend for an extended time. Kick in taken by Barquero. Could not be kept in play. Excellent back and forth to these early minutes of the first half, though. Outstanding day of futsal in Concacaf. First of two semifinals. So exciting to watch this sport grow along with women's football around this region, around the world. Of course, on the futsal side, the chance to have a FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup, something that has been asked for a long time and finally becoming a reality this year. So highly anticipated, really by generations of women's futsal players. And that's why this game will mean so much to these two sides. This is a kick in for Panama. Rangel. Ray Batista recently checked in. Panama much more the protagonist over the last couple minutes. One ball forward. Second ball was there for a moment, then hit on the half volley by Rangel and just wide of that near post. Oh, Rangel thought she could have done better. Tricky bounce. Couldn't quite tuck it inside that post. Decent chance. Panama have had the better chances so far. This runs through for DeCruz. Cheeky back heel flick. And put back out of play. It's been a great opening quarter to this first period because both sides wanting to keep the tempo high. Deflects in the direction of Rangel but didn't reach her. Ariel Barquero will take this kick in for Costa Rica. Mariela Solis checks into the match. Lifted in the direction of Solis, and her first-time volley into the arms of DeCruz. Not sure she made the full contact she would have wanted. Really well-worked play by Costa Rica, though. Their clearest opening of this first period. Looking for a foul and getting one there. Batista was impeded. First foul of this first period. A little tug back from Roxenia Lopez. Free kick being stood over by Maria Montenegro. Now being set up by Mendez. Montenegro takes it toward the corner. First time redirect didn't work. Back up top to Montenegro, who blazes over. Now Costa Rica the other way, and it was creative to get something off there. And this will be a Costa Rican kick-in. Right. Mariela Solis has been dangerous since coming off the bench. So it is a corner. Up top it goes and blocked. Good closing out by Erica Hernandez. Six minutes into this first period. No goals yet. Both these sides scored 11 goals in their 3 group stage matches. Panama conceded 7, Costa Rica 4. Panama with that spectacular 6-2 victory over Cuba in their first ever match as a competitive side a few days ago. Then the 4-3 win over Guatemala. This will run out of play. Panama with 3 players who've scored 3 goals each so far. Ariadna Abadia, Gloria Sainz, Kanaya Rangel. This is turned over in the middle of the court, and then puck goes wide. Did it take a deflection? It did. It is a corner. Yerlin Varela. He's the one who took that shot. And now Priscilla Torres looking to the corner to take. Now a left-footed strike into the side netting. Panama right back underway. And it's rolled in front. What a chance. And getting it stuck under her foot was Lori Batista. And Costa Rica the other way. Panama with such quick ball movement as this one was too high. Panama a moment ago, they were in, and Batista just couldn't quite get it out from under her right foot. Well done by Mendez to come out and cut down the angle as well. And we've seen when they're able to get forward, Panama working the ball quickly. Defended well there by Tatiana Cascante. Now a left-footed effort straight into the midsection of Mendez. Seven and a half minutes of this opening period played. Boy. Attempt from the middle of the court. And Costa Rica under some pressure, they concede the kick in. Toward the corner for Panama. Rangel. In front and poked just wide. It should have been the opener. Arianes Arguelas. Again, the movement so good from Panama, and she just gets it wrong. Scuffing it with the toe poke attempt. Now they've had their chances in this first half, Panama. Will they regret not taking at least one of those? Costa Rica now looking for the lead, but that's intercepted by Rangel, who starts a one-on-one the other way. The step-overs, then the strike. Takes out one of the microphones behind that goal. Arquero for Costa Rica. Don't connect there. Well, out of sync offensively in this first half so far. Las Ticas. Kick in from Perez. Hernandez. Again, the movement excellent. The back heel. And the first touch trying to take it around the first defender, but it ran into the second. It was slammed out of play by Alfaro for Costa Rica. Panama continue to look like the more dangerous side. Shouts for handball, and handball is given. That will be the second foul of the first half against Costa Rica. Mayori Perez being instructed to wait for the referee's whistle. And Perez against the first defender. Flip from Rangel. Off the Costa Rican player last. That was Cascante who it came off. Panama keeping the pressure on. And then they turn it over in the middle of the court. Chance for Costa Rica to break. Onto the right foot. Shot was blocked. Crucially by Perez. Now the roles have flipped from what we saw in the first few minutes, where Costa Rica were on the attack and Panama were sitting back and playing on the counter. And Panama with more of the pressure. Arquero. And she's so experienced as a player, Amarellis de Mera. This one looking for the redirect in front and goes out of play. A different challenge for de Mera. She said coming into this tournament, we have potential and no one has seen them play yet, so we can spring a big surprise, which was true. There was really zero scouting film on this Panamanian side coming into this tournament because they hadn't played a competitive match. So they were a big unknown coming in, but they've performed so well. They have an opportunity today to exceed the wildest dreams, really, coming into this tournament. They thought they could be competitive. They thought that they could get to this stage, but there were so many unknowns. And they've answered all those questions thus far as we're a quarter of the way through this semifinal. Costa Rica hoping to strike first. Again, it's good harassing by Erica Hernandez, who's been great defensively in this first half. Shutting down so many passing and shooting lanes. Pressing high whenever possible. This goes all the way through to DeCruz. He's had to make a few saves in this first half. Hasn't really had to make a super spectacular one yet. Panama have defended strongly. Almost everything for Costa Rica coming from the perimeter. Here's Barquero now. Will spin toward the end line. It is a corner for Costa Rica. Taken up top, and that effort goes well wide. Barquero. Pania Rangel off to the right side, and then trying that give-and-go move where they send a player crashing toward the goal. That was Hernandez that time, but the pass much too far in front. The play has almost worked a couple times, though, in this first half. Costa Rica, bothered by Hernandez, into the penalty area where Rangel was in the way. They've protected their own penalty area so well in this first half. This is another foul against Costa Rica. That's 3 for them now. Right there. Really unnecessary for Melissa Jimenez. Hernandez was not in a super dangerous position. Hernandez now trying to keep this in play and cannot do so. Who will grab that opening goal in this semifinal? The longer this goes at 0-0, of course, the bigger that first goal feels. That's the 4th foul against Costa Rica now. They're getting dangerously close. Roxani Lopez giving away that latest foul. Remember, once a team has accumulated 5 fouls in a half, the 6th results in a kick from 12 meters. And that second penalty mark. So Costa Rica with just one more foul available in this first half before that penalty would be awarded. Panama have not been whistled for a foul yet. Force back here. Costa Rica pressing high now. We haven't seen them do this much in the first half, and they win it. And they can't make anything from it. The pressure was applied by Barquero, and her pullback was behind her teammate. Of course, both sides have one timeout per half, and it looks like Panama will take theirs here. A 60-second timeout. Strong first half so far from Panama. They'll be slightly disappointed, I think, that they haven't made it show with at least a goal. They are the underdogs in this match, and playing a Costa Rican side who, granted, haven't played that many competitive matches over the last decade, but they have had a program since 2014. And Costa Rica have been preparing for this tournament intensely since last November. Had a number of training camps. It has been a over 6-month build-up to this competition for Las Ticas. Panama held their training camp about 3 weeks from late March through the middle of this month. Provisional 25-player initial roster that was then cut down to 14 as they came here to Guatemala City. Again, everything's so new for Panama on the futsal side. And what a tremendous job Amaryllis de Mera has done assembling this roster that can be so competitive in their first times out. Back in play following that timeout. They're defending down in the corner by Costa Rica's Melissa Jimenez. It's a Costa Rican kick in. Taken short for Lopez. Tried to return it down the line for Barquero, but Rangel read that. Deflection takes it toward the middle of the court and then lobbed to keep it in play. It was chased by Signs. And the loose ball picked up by Panama. Rangel. Couldn't shake her defender. Has to pull it back. Batista toward the corner. Was not kept in play there. Every touch of the ball feels so important in a match like this. Signs holding off the defender. Panama's triangles have been very good in this first half, but keeping possession well when they've been able to get a hold of it. Not so much for Costa Rica. He's been stopped momentarily. It looked like a wet spot on that near side. Match officials spotting that, making sure that's taken care of. Excellent flick again. Panama has shown such great skill in this first half, but it still hasn't culminated in a goal. Still await the opening tally of this first semifinal, with Canada and Mexico to come later this evening. Costa Rica still not on the same wavelength in their attack. Montenegro. Wanted that fifth foul there, Panama, looking for it along that near touchline. The Costa Rican bench weren't too impressed with that. It was Lloyd Batista who was asking the official. That would have been Costa Rica's fifth, of course. Return ball was good, but then the strike was scuffed by Rangel. Panama have done very well at not turning the ball over in the middle of the pitch. They've prevented Costa Rican breaks for most of this first half. Final ball, though. Final finish. Not there yet for them. Cross-court ball for Rangel, very good. Into the middle she comes. Rangel onto her right, great chance. Rangel scores! They finally capitalize, and Panama strike first in this semifinal. The Canaleras national women's football side star makes a huge impact in this semi in futsal for Panama. What skill. First this little feint, then the second dummy, sitting down the goalkeeper and calmly planting it at the back of the net. There was that final finish they've been looking for the entire half. And even with a long, long way to go in this semifinal, those World Cup dreams getting a little bit bigger for Panama. And for Costa Rica now, they've really got to get going. Have not yet in this first half. That was marginally okay when it was still 0-0. It's not anymore. Now a loose ball. Picked up by Panama again. It juggles by Espartine. Looking for a foul, doesn't get one. Costa Rica living dangerously, though. Now they look to reset. That pass was not there. Now a 3-on-2 for Panama if they hurry. Ahead it goes, and they just don't execute the break. That was a huge opportunity, and she knows it. Maralise Mera. That could have been 2-0. The look-away pass was so good, but then the square ball across the face of goal, not angled properly. Will they regret that missed chance, Panama? Timeout, Costa Rica. Both sides have used their first half timeout now. Alexander Ramos. Still, of course, with the halftime team talk to come. Trying to reset his side for the final 3.5 minutes of this opening period. Ramos wanting his side to play with more calm, but also play the ball more quickly. Mentioned he led the men's futsal team for Costa Rica to the round of 16 at the Men's World Cup last year in Uzbekistan. Had an outstanding career as a player over 16 years. A real story of perseverance and triumph. Grew up in tough circumstances in Costa Rica, worked odd jobs, worked at a gas station, cleaned windshields, washed cars. Supported his playing career as long as he could, then took coaching courses all over the world, paid his way to Spain to learn advanced coaching tactics. And all that work paying off these last few years with the Costa Rican Federation. He won a domestic title in Costa Rica several years ago as a head coach as well. Very accomplished, and he said before this tournament that to qualify for the World Cup with both the men's and the women's side would mean So much to him personally, as well as what it would mean for the nation. Chance here for Costa Rica, but it comes to nothing. Anthony Lopez saw her shot blocked. And now Rangel the other way for Panama. Kept in play. Good stretch by Montenegro to keep that alive. Scrappy sequence. Costa Rica get it back though. Chance for them in front, and they couldn't connect. Lopez was crashing the net, and the pass from Cascante was just half a meter in front of her. It's one of the best situations they've been able to create down low in this first period. Oh, and here's another one, and the goalkeeper out, and using her feet was the crew. First cut wasn't quite good enough. Elise looked like she was in for Costa Rica. They've definitely moved it much more quickly, doing what Alexander Ramos wanted them to do during that timeout. Since that timeout, they've been much better. And in the final 2 minutes of this opening period. Momentum shifting slightly in Costa Rica's favor, but the scoreline still favors Panama. No foul there. Costa Rica, 2 against 3 at the moment. And release that and move it quickly to the left side. Another right-footed effort. Flashes wide from Barquero. Again, the first touches from Costa Rica when they've gotten themselves in a promising position haven't quite been sharp enough. Panama want to be sure they at least keep this lead into halftime, having played so well for most of this opening period. A little deflating for them to go in at 1-1 instead of 1-0. Costa Rica turning up some pressure before the end of the half. Good evasiveness initially, now on the left wing. Nobody home on that near side. They had a player breaking to the net. That was Mariela Alfaro. They wanted it played in front of goal. Final minute now of the first half. Hernandez. Have to make sure you don't turn it over. If she did that, he wins a kick in. Now Hernandez, can she keep it in play by the corner? It rolls out now, and it will be a corner for Panama. No, given the other way now. The corner was initially indicated. Now Costa Rica with 40 seconds remaining. Big final moments of this first half. Step-overs attempted. Signs having none of it. Shut it down. Cascante will kick it back in. This is Solis. And Panama cutting down those passing angles. Forcing Costa Rica into low percentage plays. A defensive masterclass from them for this first half. And Hernandez now. Could there be a second goal for them before the break? Hernandez lays it off right side. And now the shot comes in front. It's still loose and then pounced on by Mendez. Just a moment. It looked like Steins might have a tap in. 10 seconds to play in the first. And Costa Rica hit the post. Almost the perfect end of the half for them. Well, what a strike this was, and it just clanged off that inside upright. 6 seconds to go. Can play from Panama. Loose in the center circle. And that'll do it for this first half. Great intensity, great emotion, great skill. Just one goal in the first half of this first semifinal at the first ever Concacaf W Futsal Championship. For a spot in the World Cup later this year, Panama with the lone goal. And so at the break, it is Panama 1, Costa Rica 0. Getting set for the second half of this first semifinal at the 2025 Concacaf W Futsal Championship here in Guatemala City. It's 1-0 to Panama, heading into the final 20 minutes. Final 20 minutes, of course, unless we end up level at the end of regulation, in which case we'd play 2 5-minute extra time sessions, penalties after that if they still can't be separated. But it's the goal from Kania Rangel in the first half that separates the sides so far. We're back in play for the second half. The spot in the first ever FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup later this November in the Philippines. At stake. Costa Rica right to the attack. A little hooked, improvised effort goes wide from Roxini Lopez. They weren't able to create a whole lot in the first half, Costa Rica. They got better in the last few minutes. And they carry that bit of momentum into these early stages of the second half. Panama played so well. Took a while to find the breakthrough. Finally did through that excellent solo effort from Rangel. One goal likely won't be enough, though. Can they build on that excellent first half to reach that first ever World Cup? Canada and Mexico to come later this evening from this same venue in the second semifinal. The final comes up tomorrow. Panama with the interception. Rangel ahead. Good chance here and a sliding stop. Huge early save in this second half by Genesis Mendez. After Rangel was the provider again. Not only did she score that goal, she set up what arguably should have been a couple others for Panama in that first half. And again there's that look-away pass. Costa Rica have had such a difficult time defending in the open court. Costa Rica looking to move it in front. They had a player open for a split second. Solis couldn't find her. Solis back onto it at the center circle and nearly turned it over and then hugged the player back and commits the first foul of the second half. And under the circumstances, not a bad foul to commit. Because otherwise, Hernandez was away, and it's the first card of the match as well. Pretty clear-cut one as Mariela Solis goes into the book. The kick for Panama, just inside the attacking half. Rangel. Signs protecting the ball along the touchline. Forced all the way back. Finds the outlet in Hernandez. Well done by Panama to get out of trouble. Long ball forward, headed in the direction of goal, but well wide. Good direct play there. Signs on the end of it. Tough ball to redirect accurately. 90 seconds into this second half. Now from the turnover, Panama 2-on-2. Rangel shielding the ball onto her left. Tried to work it to Hernandez. Escante now releases, and it's the opportunity for Costa Rica, and they've equalized. They celebrate. Alexander Ramos celebrates. They were well off their best in the first half on a lightning-fast counterattack. Less than 2 minutes into the second, they're level at 1-1. And it's an outstanding clipped finish from Roxini Lopez. Golazo indeed. Well, it's one thing to be one-on-one with the keeper. It's another to have the composure to finish like that. In a game like this, with stakes like this, and Roxini Lopez, after a first half that I'm sure for her individually, along with her teammates, was below par. A tremendous moment. Gets them right back in this. So now Costa Rica with that momentum, looking for their first lead of this semifinal. Intercepted by Hernandez, though. Montenegro. Now Costa Rica looking much more crisp on this left side and on goal and saved by DeCruz. Although she made a few saves in the first half, didn't have too many spectacular ones to make. Hernandez the other way. Excellent takedown off the chest. Oh, she had Montenegro headed towards goal all alone, but didn't spot her. Signs, and then the back heel from Montenegro only found a player in red. She has to be proud of how her side played in the first half. Amarelles de Mera in their first competitive tournament, but had a couple chances to score that second goal and couldn't do it. And now they've been pegged back early in the second half. Looking for the foul there was Barquero. She doesn't get one. But Costa Rica starting to pin Panama in more. And Barquero again. And then turned over to Rangel. Rangel ahead, intercepted. Back and forth they go. It's Alfaro now. Alfaro deflected wide. Corner. Nadia DeCruz already much busier in the second half than she was in the first. That struck against a head, and player staggered after making the block. Play is stopped. This was an absolute rocket off the right foot of Ariel Barquero. It was a brave block. Panama want to make that change quickly as they defend this corner. It was Batista who has to go off after that head contact. Corner put in play. Right-footed strike off the outside of the goal. It was Arias letting that go. Costa Rica looking much more confident in this second half. Costa Rica pressing a little bit higher up the court in this second half. Able to disrupt Panama much more. Panama, though, very skillful side. They've been able to play their way out of that press quite a few times. Montenegro. And intercepted and dragged the other way for a bit by Barquero before she was dispossessed. Costa Rica finished fourth in the World Tournament in 2014 as the host nation. They were the highest FIFA-ranked women's futsal team in the competition coming in. They were ranked 26th in the world at the start of this tournament. Again, there's never been a FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup until there will be one later this year. And the first Concacaf place in that tournament being decided today, along with who goes to the final of the Concacaf region tomorrow. Alfaro. Barquero. Onto her right. Chance to shoot. Straight at DeCruz. Not nearly as cohesive from Panama, though, in the first 5.5 minutes of the second half. Costa Rica in command in terms of possession, if not yet on the score sheet. Barquero. Oh, just too much on it. She had a teammate in space. That was Alfaro, who had drifted into that pocket just above the penalty area. Needed a slightly more finessed ball, and she was in. Easy to say from up here, of course. Oh, turned over by Panama, was it? No, handball. Much more aggressive defensively from Costa Rica in this second half. They're just not allowing Panama to have any time on the ball in the attacking half. Panama, a decent idea there as they tried to work it out wide to Escartin. So far, whatever Alexander Ramos said in the halftime locker room has worked beautifully for Costa Rica. The referee has awarded a free kick to Panama here, just outside the penalty area. Right on the edge of that penalty arc, in fact. And so, Genesis Mendez, after having nothing to do in this second half so far, just going to line up two on the near post. And now she's going to take her place in the wall with them. Montenegro over it for Panama. Rangel waiting for it to her left. It's Rangel, it's saved. Second ball rolls past Rangel. Mendez out quickly to smother. Panama look to reset. Perez put out for a kick in. Costa Rica surviving that moment. First big chance of the second half for Panama. Oh, what juggles for just a moment from Maritza Escartin, who almost was able to flick it over her own shoulder and be in on goal. And Costa Rica on the counter. Blocked out. Lopez shot, didn't get through. Low percentage effort from Barquero. Worth a try. Rangel. Look at Escartin now. Escartin who's caused some danger since coming off the bench here in the second half, and now still Escartin. Alexander Ramos not happy with his side, how long it took them to dispossess Escartin. 3 defenders on her, and she again was almost able to wriggle her way through. Here come Costa Rica now. Got a player breaking to the net, and it still might reach, and it does, and it's a huge save. And the second ball is still there for Barquero, and Barquero took too long to get it out of her feet. Wonderful chance for Costa Rica to take their first lead of this semifinal. Rangel thought she was fouled. Referee gave nothing, and what a stop at close range from Decruz with her right leg to deny Roxini Lopez, who already scored early in the half to equalize for Costa Rica. Could have had her second, and their second there. We remain deadlocked at 1-1. Chested down by Cascante. Dangerous challenge there, and it's turned over to Sainz, and it's a head and a big save at the other end by Mendez. It was Escartin on the through ball from Sainz, and he could not sneak it past Mendez, who aggressively was off her line. Panamanian corner ensues. Put just wide of that far post, and I think Mendez got a fingertip to it. She did. It's another corner. Played in quickly by Panama. And now Rangel. Rangel just over the bar. She's claiming a touch, and it was touched. Another corner for Panama. It was a save by Mendez, her third in quick succession. Panama trying to keep the pressure on, but the corner was not as well taken this time, and Costa Rica look in transition, and they couldn't quite poke it out wide to Cascante, and here come Panama 2v1. It's slid toward Rangel. It's off her foot. Blocked out by Mendez, who pounds her chest. She's been enormous in this last minute or so for Costa Rica after not having a lot to do in the early stages of this second half. Panama have reasserted themselves. Just the one goal each. Costa Rica worked the triangle well. They're into the attacking half, and they had Alfaro breaking to the net all alone. Nine minutes gone in the second period, 11 to play. Who goes to the World Cup in the Philippines in November? Hernandez had her effort blocked. Kick in for Panama. Who faces the winner of Canada and Mexico tomorrow in the final for the Concacaf region? All of that completely in the balance as we head in the direction of the final quarter of regulation. Montenegro, harassed by two, able to keep possession well. Rangel dropping deep. Tricky bouncing ball, couldn't be controlled by Lopez, who concedes a kick in. Trying to flick it around the corner with Steins. Another kick in for Panama. Nervous moments for Alexander Ramos. Nervous moments for everybody. So much at stake for these two programs. Effort from distance, charged down. Another kick in for Panama. It's been a strong pushback from them these last few minutes, after being on the back foot for much of the early second half, as this is wide but deflected. The shot by Sainz. It is going to be a corner. Alexander Ramos being summoned by the official. Now ready for play again. Rangel in the center circle. With her right foot and seeing it a bit late and pushing it out was Mendez. Another corner for Panama. Rangel not afraid to shoot from anywhere on the court. Thundered out of play by Lopez. Costa Rica having to defend for quite a while. In the direction of goal, that did not deflect this time. Costa Rica finally get the ball back. Again, Panama in the first half probably should have had more than one goal. They pressure and force a corner here as Lopez had nowhere else to go. Panama initially looked like they'd take that quickly. Now they slow things down. Rangel at the point. On the flank and not connecting. Pressure relieved for Costa Rica for now. Tatiana Cascante just came back into the match for them. Rangel heading it forward. Diluted signs. Kick in Costa Rica. We are firmly in the final quarter of regulation now. Mia Rangel opened the scoring for Panama in the first half. Roxini Lopez equalized for Costa Rica early in the second. That's a foul against Costa Rica, and that's their fourth of this second half. Again, Costa Rica with just one more foul remaining in this second period before they would concede a kick from the second penalty mark. Now a yellow card has been shown to an assistant on the Costa Rican bench. Emotions high, stakes high, tensions high. Panama take the free kick. And now they kick in from that far touchline. Rangel. Panama continuing to test that perimeter of the Costa Rican defense. And the spin and the try on goal. It was so well worked by Signs to give herself the chance. Again, though, Genesis Mendez was in the way. Now lofted in the direction of Gloria Signs. And Sheerans, that's not a corner. Wow, this blast a moment ago. A very good stop, actually, by Mendez. It looked like it was straight at her initially. When you see it from that angle, though, had to reach to her right to keep it out. Given away by Costa Rica, but they get it right back. Every turnover could be fatal at this stage. Any turnover could cost you a trip to the World Cup. Who can channel all those nerves and tension into something productive in these final 8+ minutes? Starting to get a little bit scrappier as players begin to tire. Hopeful ball forward. Back out by Costa Rica. Alfaro. Dispossessed. Now Hernandez. Hernandez couldn't quite be released along that touchline. The idea was good from Lori Batista. Took that shot to the side of her face early in the second half. It's good to see her back out there. 7.5 minutes remaining. Toward the corner, Costa Rica couldn't be kept in play. Roxini Lopez claiming she was being held. Costa Rica have been whistled for 8 infractions in this match. Panama have not had a whistle against them. They wanted a foul there, Panama. They don't get one this time. Now they do, though. Free kick. And that, by our unofficial count, is the 5th foul in this second half against Costa Rica. So the next one should result in a kick from the second penalty mark for Panama, should it arrive. Pretty clear foul against Barquero. Free kick. Hit against the defender, out for a kick in. And then from that kick in, another block, this time by Cascante. Rarely a bad idea to try to put it on goal and see if you can get a kind deflection. Now the back heel at close range. Panama, can they work something here? It's against the defender. Hernandez fighting for it as it comes down. It falls to Rangel. And Rangel with a step over. Hernandez reset. Extended sequence of pressure again from Panama. Rounded a 6th foul there. The Costa Rican bench hollering for a dive. Now a timeout has been taken with 6:21 remaining in the second half. So still just the 2 goals, 1 each. Rangel late in the first half for Panama. Lopez early in the second for Costa Rica.
La bola va a la banda y ellas juegan así, marco así, la bola va a la banda, yo voy paradita, esta a la gire, tiene se da todo el juego, gire, hay que manejarlo con calma, en este momento hemos tenido, pero ellas también porque no nos protegieron, y la bola se bota arriba, no aquí porque la banda sigue aquí, tenemos 4 faltas, a nosotros no nos van a quitar nada.
Fijamos mucho las marcas, duramos mucho para el balón.
Claro, y además duramos mucho para el balón para hacer entonces tengan calma, respiren. Todo va a salir.
Interesting watching that Costa Rican huddle over that last timeout. Here head coach Alexander Ramos telling his side to be mindful of the fouls. And then right at the end, you heard Tatiana Cascante giving a passionate speech to her side. Costa Rica had been up against it for the last several minutes after dominating the early stages of this second half. After they took their timeout late in the first half with about 3.5 minutes remaining, they improved quite a bit, almost equalized before the break, before they did do so early in the second half. Every time Alexander Ramos has been able to huddle his side up, whether in the timeouts in each half or during halftime, seemed to respond very well. He's had quite a few conversations with the officials. So back in play, home stretch in the second half. Even at 1 goal apiece. The trip to the World Cup on the line. First semifinal of this 2025 Concacaf W Futsal Championship, the first ever. Canada and Mexico coming up after this. Long discussion here before this ball is put back in play. That initial timeout is functionally turned into a several-minute timeout. And now a yellow card shown to somebody else on the Costa Rican bench. Maybe Alexander Ramos has gone into the book, I'm not sure. Finally ready for play again. Toward the corner, it was a mazy dribble, and the deflection was almost dangerous for Panama. Tony Lopez again causing havoc at the offensive end for Costa Rica. Rangel. Been able to contain her a bit more effectively in the second half, Costa Rica. And they get themselves forward with Barquero. She had the overlapping run from Lopez down the left flank, but chose not to use her. Barquero lifting it to the top of the penalty area. Shielded out by Montenegro. Costa Rica have not lost at this tournament. 2 wins and a draw in group play. A draw coming in the final 15 seconds against the United States as they rallied late, and that was such a crucial result for them. Turned out to be a fatal one for the U.S. after they lost to Canada yesterday. And did not qualify for the semifinals. That's why Canada will play Mexico after the conclusion of this one. Costa Rica now 2-on-2 after the turnover. And still keeping possession for a moment, and now earning a free kick. Tatiana Cascante. Dangerous chance coming up for Las Ticas. It's the first foul that Panama have been whistled for all evening. Could be critical. Marianes Arguellas. A bit too much in that challenge. Costa Rican fans making noise as they line up this set piece. Yerlin Variella. And then with the left foot, it's high and wide. Plenty of power behind it, but not troubling Nadia De Cruz. And this is turned over. No foul for Panama, and then what a stop by De Cruz. Crucial save. They were playing for the foul in their own half. That's so dangerous. They conceded the 2 against 1. It could have cost them. Back in play for Costa Rica, and shot dragged wide. Well, this was the moment where Batista was playing for the foul, didn't get the call, and then it's a terrific reflex save by De Cruz. That was labeled for the top corner. That was going in. That would have been 2-1 Costa Rica. Instead, it's still 1 each. And the back heel flick, and Rangel returns, and it was a chance with the left foot for glorious times. She scuffed it. His legs getting tired late in this game on both sides. This can be calmed by DeCreux. And there are 4 minutes remaining in regulation. 2 extra time periods of 5 minutes each, then penalties after that. If the sides still can't be separated. Will there be a winner in normal time? Oh, turned over by Panama. They get it back, though. Signs. Montenegro. You feel how badly players on each side don't want to be the one that makes the critical mistake or turnover. Almost every pass being thought about for a half second longer than it normally would. Mounting a foul was Lines, no call. Here come Costa Rica now, into open space, and the shot is saved, and the rebound is loose, and Panama poke it away. And again, DeCreux rescues Panama, and they break the other direction, and then it's in! They score! And is that the goal that sends them to the World Cup? Lori Batista! In a blink, they nearly conceded. They nearly were behind. It was DeCreux throwing her left hand out and stopping it. And then Batista did the rest. Looked like the angle was against her, and she just sneaks it inside that far post. And Genesis Mendez, who's made several excellent saves in the second half, couldn't get to it with her left foot. Inch perfect from Batista. 2:54 to play. Panama ahead. Panama on course for the final and for the World Cup as things stand. Now the clock is against Costa Rica. They do still have time, but not a lot. Remember, they scored with 15 seconds left to equalize against the United States. And they brought the extra attacker on. Their goal is empty to our right. Suddenly, Costa Rica's need is urgent. Almost gave it away there. They concede the kick in. Panamanian bench applauds. These final 2 minutes and 37 seconds will feel like an eternity for them. And Costa Rica, it feels like not much time at all. Final timeout. Final 2:37 coming up. Panama 2, Costa Rica 1. In the Concacaf W Futsal Championship semifinal.
Estamos perdiendo tiempo en la indicación. ¡Ya se callan! ¡Se callan!
Amarelles de Mera telling her side forcefully to calm down and shut up.
Cuando vienen con la jugadoras al portero, metemos aquí, aquí, aquí y aquí. Mira, sale la pelota, salimos nuevamente, pero no, nadie sale a marcar arriba, cerradito hasta aquí. Tienes este lado, En la tercera vuelta, Kenia, si puede hacer una presión a la poseedora de la pelota de este lado, la hace y la otra línea de pase y la otra cierra y tiramos.
Vamos, dale, vamos, vamos.
Looked as though Panama's coaching staff wanting them to not just send aimless balls or clearances forward. They want them to play the ball with purpose, even though they have this lead. They will try to protect over the final 2:37. Signs thumps it forward. Extra attacker coming back on for Costa Rica. Goalkeeper back out. Extra attacker is Fabiola Ramirez. Ramirez here, in a bit of space, toward the corner. First time ball across the face, intercepted. Goal is empty, and it's blocked down. Out of play off Yerlin Varela. Kick in for Panama. Just over 2 minutes to go. Balls for Signs, who has the winner as things stand. Kick in for Costa Rica. Extra attacker should come back on for them. Remember, Panama had not played a competitive match as a women's futsal program until this tournament, until this group phase started just a few days ago. Now they are on the brink of qualifying for the World Cup at their first attempt. Costa Rica still have something to say about that. And that is a handball and a free kick coming for Costa Rica along that far touchline. Clearly against Rangel. Hand was down, but it is a free kick for Costa Rica with 95 seconds remaining. Nadia de Cruz been outstanding in goal for Panama. They'll probably have to make at least one more big save if they're going to see this out. Costa Rica trying to force extra time. Not a good ball, and that's a waste. They've not been at their best tonight, Aztecas. Oh, that's almost given away by Panama. It is given away. And Costa Rica quickly forward, and Lopez, not sure if that was a shot attempt. It will be a corner. Rangel, furious at that turnover. Got back to make the block, and now the first time after it. Boy, they caught Panama sleeping there. That's a bad sequence from Panama twice in a row. First the giveaway, and then they completely lost Mariela Alfaro from the subsequent corner. Fortunate that she blistered it wide. Thundered forward and wide. Extra attacker coming back on for Costa Rica with 75 seconds remaining. Oh, they took too long, Costa Rica. And so now it'll be Panama's kick in. Those time limits are strictly enforced in futsal, remember. Much more so than in football. And so a free kick for Panama just at the edge of the penalty area. Chance for them to effectively put this away. It's Signs standing over it. Signs lays it off for Rangel, who tried to clip it over the goalkeeper. Everybody calm down, we're fine. That would have been a spectacular finish if she could have chipped the keeper from there, but didn't quite work out. Just over a minute to go. Costa Rica still within one. Lopez, and Lopez shoots. Simple for DeCruz, toward the open goal. DeCruz, it's there, and Panama are nearly there. The net was empty, and DeCruz, who's made so many big saves, scores the goal that just about clinches their place in the first ever Women's World Cup. First she made the save. She saw glory dancing in her eyes. She went for it, and it bounced into the roof of the net. And Panama, the underdogs, the newcomers, are 58.8 seconds away from a final and from a World Cup. Yellow card shown to someone on the Panama bench. They won't care at this point. As Mariam Sanjur, the backup goalkeeper. Somebody else getting one as well. I think for running out onto the court to celebrate. Can't really blame them under the circumstance. Looked like Arguelles got one too. None of that will matter, barring something miraculous in this final minute from Costa Rica. That's intercepted. Panama on the break again. Net is empty still, but the whistle stops play as it hit the post. It wouldn't have counted anyway. 38.4 seconds left. And again, the net gaping. Chance for number 4 for Panama. Not quite, but they'll still have a kick in. That's flying for them. 24.1 seconds remaining. Batista couldn't quite maneuver an open shot. Goalkeeper back in for Costa Rica. Panama try to kill it in the corner. They're doing it very well. Trying to give away a free kick, but they ate another 8 seconds off the clock. Inching toward the finish line. Net empty one more time for Costa Rica. Their hopes nearly empty as well. It's Lopez, and Lopez drills it wide. And that will just about do it. Panama ready to celebrate. What a celebration it's going to be. Final seconds running off the clock. And it is over, and the dream is reality for Panama. Las Canaleras are going to the first ever FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup in November, and they're into the Concacaf W Futsal Championship final tomorrow. You don't need me to tell you how much this means. Pictures tell you everything you need to know. What a performance from Panama. Underdogs coming in to this tournament, to this semifinal. Costa Rica, again, they've been building toward this tournament since November. The heartbreak for them is total and understandable. It just didn't quite click for them today, and so much credit goes to Panama for that. They had a good spell early in the second half. They equalized coming out of halftime, had some chances to take the lead, never could quite do so. Panama, who were much the better side in the first half, took the lead to Kenia Rangel late in the first half that they had totally deserved, and they could have had more. And then they were on the back foot for the first half of the second half, and you wondered if only scoring once in the first 20 minutes might cost them. Not the case. They rallied, they steadied, they got back on the front foot. They got the go-ahead goal brilliantly. With just under 3 minutes to go from Lori Batista.
¿Qué significa este triunfo para ti y para el equipo?
Si me ves llorando, es la emoción, un equipo muy unido, y si solo me entrevistas a mí sería muy egoísta con mis compañeras. Dame un segundito.
Panama's entire team being summoned over.
Han hecho un gran trabajo. ¡Vamos para el mundial! Y gracias a Dios, la honra y la gloria para él. Hemos hecho un excelente trabajo, como lo acabas de decir, vamos a Filipinas y todo el trabajo de dedicación de una familia panameña. Y claro, gracias a Dios todo.
Mañana la final, ¿cómo se preparan para eso?
Pues con esta emoción, con una determinación y con ganas de sacar el campeonato para ser la mejor de Concacaf.
Muchas gracias. Felicidades.
Wonderful from Lori Batista. Again, the emotion so apparent. She said it right at the start of the interview, and then she said she wanted all her teammates to come over and join her. Now they're going to go for it in the final tomorrow, she said, to try to be the best in CONCACAF. We'll hear from a player from Costa Rica in just a moment.
Lo manifestamos y la energía estaba aquí, era nuestro esta vaina, ¿ok? Vamos a ver la
Well, what a first semifinal today in this CONCACAF W Futsal Championship. The inaugural edition living up to the billing and then some. Panama, Costa Rica. Again, it was Panama who played so well for much of the first half. It was a good early save from Genesis Mendez to keep them off the board. Costa Rica didn't create much for most of the first half. And then finally, the breakthrough came from Kanaya Rangel after this chance earlier. And a couple more from Panama where they had numbers down low. But finally, Rangel, with about 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half, did it by herself. Such great skill at close range. First to cut back onto her right foot, then this extra little touch to sit down both the defender and the goalkeeper and finish so calmly. It was a lead that Panama deserved. And they had that lead into the break. Late in the first half, Costa Rica almost equalized after they nearly gave away a second. Rangel's pass was so good, but then the ball across the face wasn't quite good enough. Late in the first half, Costa Rica were almost level. With 7 seconds remaining, they hit the post, the closest they came in those opening 20 minutes. A cannoning drive from Mariela Alfaro. So it was 1-0 at the break. Early in the second half, though, a turnover, and Costa Rica were able to find the leveler. Good work in the middle of the court from Cascante. She released Lopez, and her finish was so cool, so calm, so skillful to lift it over Nadia De Cruz, who was almost unbeatable today. This was the one time she wasn't, and understandably so. Such skill and class from Lopez to even the semifinal at 1. And so Costa Rica, having come out in the second half with such purpose, then had some chances to take the lead. They had a shot that went wide. Then a free kick was well saved by Genesis Mendez. Mendez made a string of saves then as Panama started to work themselves back into the game. From that sequence of corners, Rangel had a couple attempts on goal. Mendez was equal to each of them. Well, Mendez, having made those saves, and then Costa Rica, this was their best chance to take the lead, and it was a wonderful stop from De Cruz. After the ball on the left, found Barquero then for another attempt, and De Cruz making big saves the whole way, and then Batista the other direction on the counter by herself. Didn't look like there was a lot on, but wasn't her finish. Inch perfect inside the far post. And it beat Genesis Mendez and hissed off the inside of the upright. And that would be the winner for Panama. And late on, they would add another from the goalkeeper, De Cruz, into the empty net with the extra attacker on for Costa Rica. Perfectly finished from the other end of the court by De Cruz, who had such a great match, and capped it off with a goal of her own. And Panama had a 2-goal lead with a minute to play. They dribbled out the remaining seconds and celebrated a trip to the World Cup in the Philippines. Well, what a semifinal, and one more to come in just over an hour's time from this same venue. We'll have Canada and Mexico. Steve Schlanger will be along for that one. Looking forward to it. And then the final, of course, tomorrow. Panama will be there. Who else will join them? And which of Canada and Mexico will also advance? to the World Cup. We're going to hear from a Costa Rican player now before we sign off for this first semifinal.
Súper intenso. ¿Qué crees que marcó la diferencia con el otro equipo?
Bueno, primero que todo, buenas tardes. Creo que lo que marcó la diferencia fue la actitud. Ellas querían ganar, ellas querían ir al Mundial. Nosotras estuvimos muy pasivas al empezar el partido. El segundo tiempo arrancamos tal vez un poco mejor, pero bueno, la mala toma de decisiones fue lo que marcó la diferencia en el partido.
¿Qué sensación se llevan después de este partido de hoy?
Muy decepcionadas porque hicimos una fase de grupo casi perfecta. Puntuamos 7 puntos importantes, ¿verdad? Veníamos tal vez un poco no muy concentradas. Entonces creo que eso fue lo que nos faltó al jugar este partido. Al final, como lo dije, ellas querían ganar un poco más que nosotras. Gracias.
Yeah, it's just not quite good enough on the day. She said they got a little better in the second half, but maybe not quite enough concentration, and they were a little bit better than us, she finished. Panama in the final, Mexico or Canada to join them, earn that other ticket to the World Cup later this year, and the chance to play for a Concacaf title tomorrow. So that semifinal coming up in just over an hour's time. Until then, for our entire great production team, I'm Donnie Barnes saying good night for now from Guatemala City at the Domo Polideportivo, where it finishes in this first semifinal at the first ever Concacaf W Futsal Championship. Panama 3, Costa Rica 1.